go. Let's make sure that we're live. All right. Hello and welcome to my Ever Messy Art Studio. My name is Keeks. Oops, let me turn my volume down on my iPad. It's good to see you guys today. Sorry I'm on so late. I was having a lot of fun with my family. We were playing Battleship, and Ronan and I won against Mason. Woot woot. Go Team Ronan. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. Um, so before we begin today, I wanted to first say thank you to Curiously Michelle. Curiously Michelle had sent me some happy mail, which I will show you now. I had won one of her giveaways, and then she found out it was also, um, my husband's birthday last week and Ronan's birthday this week. So she actually sent me some birthday cards for them. So she sent me a couple of kitty birthday cards, which are super adorable. So thank you so much for that. And then the actual giveaway that I won was for this beautiful page of flowers, um, which I am actually probably going to use today in some of my ATCs, as well as this really pretty painted piece of paper, and then this really cool kind of stamped looking paper. I don't know if this is a tissue paper or if she stamped it herself, but it looks really cool. So thank you so much, Michelle. And I am going to set this one to the side because I'm probably going to use this one for ATCs. So we are going to be working on some floral ATCs today. I have a trade with Joanne Newman. She and I like to trade ATCs back and forth every now and then. And we just finished our Neo Color 2 trade, so now our next one is going to be florals. But first, before we start doing ATCs, I wanted to show you the newest journal that I've made. This one I've decided that I'm going to keep for myself because I'm really proud of how it turned out. Plus, there ended up being a defect that I think is pretty minor, but it encouraged me to just keep it for myself. So, this is made from, the fabric on here is actually from a kimono. So this beautiful fabric here is the oni part of a kimono. Hey, how you doing? Oh, she did stamp the paper. That's awesome. Good to see you, Len. But this is actually made from a kimono, and then this boot I actually got from my grandmother. This is part of her art stash, and she told me that I could keep whatever I wanted out of her art stash because she was trying to declutter, and I was like, can I have the leather boots? So I actually have two of these. Um, and then this was actually a brooch, and I just broke the back off of the brooch and glued it down onto the boot. And then I used some Scrabble pieces and put yeehaw. And then it does have like a Velcro fastener. So this journal will grow with me as I use it, which is going to be pretty cool. And then this is the inside of the journal. So the inside I did kind of like patchwork. This is where the minor defect was. The glue did not quite stick in some places, like because I feel like the humidity was too high in the room when I glued it. Which I feel like is a minor thing, but at the same time, I really wanted this journal anyway, so I decided I was going to keep it for myself. Because this is one of my big 9 signature journals. So it is absolutely full to the brim of different jelly plated papers that I did. So it's just full of lots of beautiful, colorful pieces. And I feel like since it has 9 signatures in it, and they're all signatures I did myself, I'm going to be more apt to fill it. Um, so I'm very pleased with this journal, and I know it's going to be well loved. And you'll definitely be seeing me work in it soon, but I wanted to show it to you because I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. This is only my second giant journal that I've created. The other one is on my Etsy, which had sari silks on it. Chances are I will be making a couple more journals out of the kimono silks that I have. Um, right now, I'm actually currently making one as a gift for somebody, and then I will probably be making a second one that I will put on my shop eventually. So I've just been kind of practicing putting them together. I'm also practicing making smaller ones because these big ones are kind of expensive to make. So I'm gonna try making some that have smaller signatures in it and see how that can go. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this journal turned out and I'm really excited to use it. So I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like and it's so pretty. So there's that. Now, what we're going to work on today is artist trading cards. Because, like I said, myself and Joanne Newman um, are in a trade right now with each other. So I'm probably going to use some of Michelle's painted papers and actually parts of that kimono silk, leftover pieces. I was also thinking about decoupaging some napkins, doing some collage, maybe doing some painting. Haven't really decided what all I'm doing yet. But yeah, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is probably use some of this beautiful paper. So let's see about taking a pen here and just kind of marking where I need to cut, because I absolutely love how this turned out. So I'm going to use it. And I'm going to try to cut it gently, that way I can keep using it. So about right there is how much we need. So let's go ahead and cut that out. There we go. So I think that's going to look really nice, and then we'll figure out what exactly to put on it. So let's go ahead and glue that down to the card. And I just like using Elmer's glue for regular gluing stuff. I'm kind of old-fashioned that way. Like I've said before, I have stuff that's from my childhood that's still glued just fine, so I've never had a problem with it. I just don't feel a need to buy a fancy glue when the regular glue works just fine. Here we go. I put quite a bit of glue on here because I want the whole thing to stick down. I don't want to have any like weird air bubbles or anything like that. Where'd my paper towels go? Oh, here's one. Probably gonna need a couple paper towels for this project. So let's go ahead and pop it down on the card. Oop. It's squishing about all over the place. Squish. Just wipe away the glue edges. Oops, sorry, my dog just coughed, so you might have just heard her go, ugh. She's not dying, I promise. All right, and then I have this really pretty piece of kimono silk right here. So it's like a flower. Maybe we can pop that on it, and that would be really pretty. So let me kind of cut around the flower. I will say it is very strange working with kimono silk because there is a lot of strings involved. Um, like the whole back of it is strings, which is kind of crazy. And if you pull too hard, it actually unravels some of the strings. So just be warned, if you yourself go to use kimonos, be aware that those strings are not actually attached to what seems like anything, really, and you're gonna have to give it a haircut. So I'm gonna give this a little bit of a haircut to get these strings out of the way. There we go. And then let me get some Eileen's tacky glue. I think that's going to be more of a heavy duty glue because this kimono silk is actually fairly thick. I don't know if you can kind of see, but it is, oops, I'm not quite in the camera, I don't think. There we go. It is a very thick, thick girl. So I'm gonna pop that down on it. Got kimono silk strings everywhere. Story of my life lately, ladies. Story of my life. So let me get some tacky glue real quick. Here's some. We'll put it on the back pretty heavy. So I don't want any of it to pop back up again because there's just so much string in there. I want it to soak into it pretty good. And this probably will gush out, but it does dry clear. So it shouldn't be a super problem or anything. There we go. Now I'll just take my paper towel and wipe along the edges. But I purposely used way too much glue on that so that it'll soak through that fabric and hopefully stay down, because it is fairly hairy, or stringy as they say. So yeah, I think that looks kind of cool. It kind of gives it like a little 70s vibe, and I have more pieces. So let's see if any of the others stick out as kind of florally. Let's see. Let me move my camera down a little bit so that we can see just a wee bit better. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. This one kind of has like a vine to it that could be interesting. This one has little floral petals on it. Just some bits and bobs, as they say. Could do something with that. Let's see here. Hopefully that one's not too stringy, so it's not too bad. Maybe we could do something down here with it like this. And maybe cut this to where it's like straight. Like that. Looks pretty good. So let's cut some of these little strings off. See, it just frays really easily. Something I've learned about kimonos. They do not like to be cut. But I'm sure having fun cutting it up. So maybe we can put this down in the corner down here, because then it gives it kind of a bit of a shine, and then we get that kind of leafy vibe in it. And it kind of brings what's in the corner to the top a little bit. So I'm going to use some more tacky glue so that we can hopefully get that pretty coated. Oh, hey, Mediocre, how you doing? Good to see ya. There we go. It's a very cool use of kimono. Oh, wait. So when people are saying hi to Bug, they're saying hi to Mediocre? I've been trying to figure out this whole time who Bug is. Because I see everybody say hi to them all the time, and I can never figure out who they're saying hi to. I'm sorry. Well, now I feel in the know. There we go. Good to see ya, good to see ya. So I think that looks pretty good. We need something going on in the middle here. Maybe we can find like a pretty sticker or something to put in the middle. Let me grab my stickers, of which I have quite a few. Let's see. I have a ton of stickers. So we should have plenty of options to choose from. But I'm kind of thinking something sheer like these, because I want Michelle's pretty artwork to still be there. I want something that's going to be thin and go down the middle. Like maybe something like that. Set that one to the side. I'm not sold on that one because I've already got a round shaped flower here. Hey Joyce, how you doing? I just got your signets in the signatures in the mail today, so you should be getting your signature soon from the weird swap. So that should be good. Ooh, this might be a cool color. Oh, I kind of like that. That sticker, let me hold it up to the camera a little bit, but if you get it at just the right angle, it looks like really natural on there. Like it almost looks like pressed flowers in a way. I like that a lot. I think I'm gonna go with that. Yay! I'm so excited to see what you made. I can kind of give you a little bit of a sneak peek. I did kind of mysticism. Um, so this is the first time I'd ever made a signature. So because I kept one for myself and then made the rest for y'all. But everybody gets these 3 little keys that are at the top of them. And then everybody gets kind of something like a tarot card, which is really cool. And then in the backgrounds, I found this really old-fashioned book on magicians. So a lot of the backgrounds are from the old-fashioned magician book. And then we've got this like goddess-looking lady over here. Which a lot of mysticism, actually, uh, a lot of people who believe in mysticism believe in like a god and a goddess. So I thought that was kind of fun. Everybody has something different on this page. And then there's a pocket here, like a thick pocket. And then everybody had something about magic over here. In fact, I think yours, Joyce, has like I think like I found one that looked like Merlin, if I remember correctly, in yours. And then everybody has this kind of interesting, like almost flag looking page for mysticism. And then this one's just a page where you can add stuff yourself. And then this one has a skinny pocket in it. So I did a fat pocket and a skinny pocket, and then more of that really cool book. So that kind of gives you a sneak peek of what to expect for your signature. I hope you love it. I'm really excited because I've never done a trade like that before. All right, let's go ahead and get this sticker down. So let me see if I can. I always have the hardest time getting the backs off of stickers. So excuse me a second while I struggle. Oh, I hear it. And if I can't get the silly thing off, you know what I'll do? I'll just glue it. Ah, I think this one's saying gloomy. I'm gonna glue it. If it doesn't want to come off, we'll make it stick down. Because this glue will dry clear anyway. Here we go. So that'll be perfectly fine. And we'll put that down over this and just kind of pat it down. Oh yeah, it already looks clear. There we go. Oh, part of that kimono silk's popping up. Told you, it does not like to stay. So it needs as much glue as you can possibly get on it because of all those little strings that are on it. There we go. I'm just gonna hold it down for a second to hopefully adhere it a little bit more. There we go. And by the look at that, that is our first ATC. So I think that looks pretty cool. It's got kind of a 70s vibe to it, but I like it. It's very interesting. I like the fabric element to it. So we'll set that guy up here. And then I was thinking I would do some decoupage, because some decoupage sounded fun with like some napkins. So I have a ton of floral napkins. I have like a gallon bag full of napkins here. But I have this ripped piece of napkin already. So maybe we can do something with that. It's got to be in the right place. I think that looks like the right place. So we'll try that. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really excited. So thank you guys. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Let's try some decoupage. And for this, let's use a little bit of matte medium. And with matte medium, always remember your tutu. If you don't put a tutu on your matte medium, your lid's gonna stick because look at what it's doing to the tutu itself. You don't want that in ridges. That's a bad idea. And then I just always try to find one of the cheap dollar store brushes. Like this one looks cheap enough. And then this is tissue that's pretty thin. But I think I'm gonna play it safe and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the actual element first. And then we'll put it on top. So we'll just kind of coat our card here and get it all nice and juicy, and then we'll go back over the top of it. Because that's the more medium we put on it, the better it's gonna stick. So we'll get that nice and wet. This brush is already losing bristles. Dollar store, am I right? All right, so let's do that, and then let's position our napkin. There we go, something like that I think is going to be good. And you got to be careful because it is tissue. So wherever you stick it down, that's where it's going to live. And let's put some over the top of it to make sure that we get it in there nice and good. Oops, let's get these scissors out of the way. They're making me nervous. Get out of here, scissors. So what's everybody up to tonight? Y'all working on anything special? Anybody crafting along with me? I always think it's fun to know what people are working on because we all have so many different fun projects to do and we're all so creative. And I'm okay with little wrinkles in the tissue. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I think actually wrinkles add to a piece if I'm not mistaken. Like it just kind of gives it a little something something. And I am kind of a textury person. I don't like slimy textures. Slimy's not it. But I don't mind other textures. Oh, that's so cool. I hope that turns out awesome, Joyce. I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. I just don't have enough time in the day to learn everything I want to learn. I'll get to it eventually. I have crochet needles. That's half the battle. Ooh, very nice. Okay. An altered book. That sounds like fun. I like to alter the golden books. I think they're pretty fun to tear apart. I actually did some fussy cuts out of one of them recently. It was like a chipmunk one. Favorite husband kind of it. Okay, well, it was good to see you, Lynn. I hope everything goes well for you. Because I know you said that you were going to be away from crafting for a bit. So I hope everything heals well and I'll be thinking about you. Let's get a smaller pair of scissors here. I like the more controlled kitty scissors. So let's do that. Just cut along the edges here. Some of my napkin's not quite stuck down, probably because there's a lot of napkin here. So once we get these edges cut, I'll be able to kind of smooth it down a little bit more. Yeah, I have a sewing machine that's specifically for paper. I've only used it a couple of times, but I want to get it back out and start using it some more. So I think it's really cool when people add like stitch work to their paper stuff. I think it looks really nice. And I like it whenever people make like the strings hang off of stuff. I think that's fun. Like, I enjoy buying bits and bobs off of Etsy and stuff. And one of them that I bought's like this really cool stringy piece of paper where they basically made like I believe they're called a cluster. And then in the cluster they sewed on like a couple of like little things to it. Like, where is that? Oh, it's right here. Like, look at this. Somebody did this with a sewing machine. Like, they sewed in little tiny pieces in there. And then they sewed in some string and then left some strings hanging and stuff like that. I think that's so creative, and I want to learn how to make my own like that. I think that would be really fun. So I just love stuff like that. Let's see, maybe we can curl that under. So I'm just going to go around the sides and kind of curl it under where it's still gluey, just to kind of help it adhere to the card more. For some reason, this part right here is not wanting to stick to the card. Just might need some extra glue. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. And then just throw this brush away because it's toast. And then let's see about finding, because it's supposed to be botanical related. So let's see if I have any cool little botanical whatnots. I have this kind of flower finder book. This might be interesting. Let's see, it's got like little pieces to like, you know, like where it's like labeled. So it'll must be fun as like a small like glue book or something like that. So I could do something like that on it. Or let's see what else I've got. Oh, I've got this like leaf that could be fun. What else is in here? I'm just kind of zipping along in here. Ooh, these could be fun. These are beaded flowers. What else do I got in here? Some kind of sunny looking flowers. We could cut something out of that. Ooh, we've got this mushroom one. You think a mushroom would be considered botanical? I don't know. It might be a little big. Might hide some of the fun stuff that we already have on there. We've got this flower too. Let's see what would look best. Let's see here. So this flower I kind of like because it matches the shape of that one, but then it would cover up these little flowers. These little tiny flowers are kind of fun. So that could be something. I really like this leaf though. If we use like a fake leaf and then put a flower in front of it, that could be fun. Let's see if I can get into this little bag. Looks like there's a couple of different leaves in here, which makes it fun. I kind of like this green one. This green flower is really cool. Maybe we could glue that down and then glue a flower over it so you can kind of see the sheerness of the other flowers below it. So that could be interesting and maybe add some depth. I'm gonna try that. This is kind of a sheer thing. So I'm wondering if I should maybe use glitter glue on it. Let's try that and see. If you don't know what glitter glue does not actually have glitter in it. I think it's actually meant to glue down glitter. It's just a really fine line glue and it dries really quick and is super sticky. Oh, it's pretty awesome. It hits all the check marks of what you'd want, especially like I was making a bunch of thank you cards for people that sent my son birthday cards in the mail. And I had a lot of fun using it for like small letters and stuff like that. Okay, so this should dry clear. So I'm going to set that down and rub it in. It's going to look wet and ugly for a minute, but then it'll go away. Leave us with a nice, interesting leaf. I like that. That looks really cool. And then do I want a beaded flower or do I want to just go with this flower because it looks like it kind of goes with everything else? I think I'm going to go with this flower. Let's cut it out and just see. It might be too big, and if it's too big, then we'll go with one of these. But I'm hoping it should be just right. So we'll just quickly cut that out. See what it ends up doing for us. I'm trying to make quick work of this fussy cut for you so that you won't be here forever. Okay, so let's see what we could do with this. Like maybe put it in the corner here. Just kind of looking to see what looks right. Put it a couple of different ways to see. Ooh, that kind of looks nice there, especially with the green coming off the edge. That looks more natural to me. I think we need to put it on that way. Hey, how you doing, Carol? Oops, I better not lose my little thing for my glitter glue. I better stick that back in the hole. So that glitter glue dries fast. All right. So let's use a little bit of Elmer's. Right now we are making ATCs for Joanne Newman. She and I like to swap back and forth every couple months, and she asked that we do florals this time. I think so far we've done, oh gosh, it has to be going on like 5 trades now. We like to send each other stuff quite often. Okay, so let's see how I can line that back up again. There we go. because I like it because in the napkin, there's this like little green part, and it's kind of connecting to the green that was already in that plant. So that looks pretty cool. Oh, hi, Gwen. Thank you. Good to see you. All right, just like that. I think that looks pretty good. And then let's get some neo colors and maybe add some streaky streaks. I think that would be pretty fun. So let me grab, oops, my neo colors here. And I'll put those to the side. You might be wondering why there's a bunch of paper towels over them. I use them with water very often. So I'm always, oh my God, I totally almost committed the cardinal sin of putting this back on without the tutu. No, always put your tutu on your matte medium. I almost glued it shut. I would have been very sad because this is like a full bottle. That would have been terrible. Okay. Let's see here. So maybe we can streak it with some purple. It's a little wet from the glue, so it's going to give an interesting consistency here with the lines. Hey, Kelsey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here with me. I appreciate it. I know I'm on a bit later than I usually do, but like I said, I was having a lot of fun. We were playing Battleship for the first time with my son, and he'd never played before. We beat Daddy. Ronan's #1. It was a lot of fun. Let's see here. Let's add some orange in here just to kind of bring out that yellow bit a bit more. Make it look like it's got something else going on with it. And then we could use green one just to add like little lines here in the background. And those little lines probably aren't going to show up very well on camera, but up close you'll be able to see that there's a little bit of turquoise in the background, and it just kind of gives a little something extra to it. There we go. And I think that is our second ATC. So I think that one looks pretty good. So we've got our kimono silk one, and then we've got a decoupage one, which is really cool. And then, shall we? Well, we've got the neo colors out. We could definitely play with the water element in the neo colors a bit. Let me go get a little jar of water real quick. That way we can do that. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so let's do maybe we can do, I like doing little like sunflowery type flowers. So let's go with that. And first what I do is I make like a ring of dots. And we'll do it in a couple of places. So I'm taking a dark blue and doing it. Because even though they're like sunflower-esque, I want them to be bright. And so I'm making the middles darker. So we can go ahead and do that. And then, oh, hey, how you doing, Lamont? How you doing? Thanks for visiting. Good to see you. All right. And then let's add some pretty purple in there. I do love me some good purple. Let's do a different purple than that color, though. I don't want it to be too similar. So I'm going to do this kind of purple instead. And these are just the middles of our flowers. We'll do the adding of the water very last once we get everything down. Because then it'll make things a little bit easier to figure out where to do it at. So let's do one of these like this. We could do a line in the middle. Then maybe we can add a bit of orange in there, just so when we add the water, it'll do something interesting with that. The nice thing with neocolors is you can literally scribble with them because you're going to be adding water to it anyway to soften everything up, so it should be fine. Let's get a water brush. Speaking of that, I'm going to use this one because it's discolored already. So this is my Hemi brush. I think it's a 4. And then what we'll do is first we'll give the middle some tap taps and let the colors bleed a little bit. The bleeding should turn out pretty cool. Just like that. And then before I move to my new color, what I'll do is just wipe it on a paper towel. And that kind of clears your brush a bit. And then it gives you your ability to go around your lines. So first, I'm going to do the darker areas. Then we're going to fade it in. And then we'll go over it again once it's dry with another color and really let it pop. And these are my favorite kind of flowers to do. They're just like really relaxing. They're almost like Zen tangling for me. Like I would say doing neocolor flowers is very Zen tangly and Zen for me. Oh, good night, Carol. Thanks for visiting. Oops, we need a little bit more water. Just like that. And neocolors do dry pretty quickly. So whenever we move on to the other flowers, that should go ahead and dry fairly fast, and then we can add more details to this flower. So it doesn't have to be like a done deal the way it looks right now. more can be done and should be done. Let's go with a nice teal because I'm a sucker for a good teal. So has anybody read the Fourth Wing books? One of my friends I was visiting in Kansas City is letting me borrow her book, and oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, I kind of like that the main character, like, I like that she's not, like, you know how, like, sometimes you read those books and, like, the person just seems like a superhuman? I like that she's not, because I certainly aren't. Like, she talks about joints aching, about how her body's not really made for, like, riding a dragon. Like, I kind of like it. It's like a it's like a new twist on an old idea, really. And I like how the dragon bonding goes. I think that's pretty fun too. Oh, all right, Kelsey, bye. Thanks for joining. Let's do a darker green in here. This can be like an interesting blue-green flower. And let's see what happens when we start blending. Give it some good blendy blends. Then add a bit more water to it. And that green is turning into kind of like a minty blue, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so I've been reading that. And I guess I'm gonna have to buy the other two books because it's only been a day and I only have like 50 pages left of this book. I went through it so fast. Ugh. Part of me gets kind of mad at myself when I do that, but the other part of me just can't stop. Like, when it's a good book, it's a good book. You gotta finish it. You know what I mean? We don't have a yellow flower yet. We should do a yellow one and see what happens. So let's go with you. At least now I see what all the fuss is about because everybody's been talking about this book. And I'm like, I haven't got, hadn't gotten around to it yet. Let's do some pink with the yellow. That would be fun. Love me a good pink. Right. Then we'll give it some good tap taps. Get that middle all mixed and happy looking. So I'm going to try to keep the edges true on this, like the yellow true. So I'm going to try to carefully blend this. Ooh, it's pulling some of the color. Well, that kind of gives a fun effect. It's pulling from the middle. Let's get some of this pink mixed in. There we go. It's doing some pretty fun bleeds there, which is kind of cool. And then we've still got one over here. So let's see here. What colors could we use for that? Got red, orange, yellow. Guess we could go for like a regular blue. Let's try that out. It's just a corner flower after all. She deserves to have her say. Here we go. Get our little tap taps in. Blend that up a bit. Just like that. And then I might add just a little bit of like a light green to the background. Not a lot, but just enough so that it's just not that stark white. I'm not a big fan of stark white. So that should just give it enough to where it's got a little something something going on. And we don't need to use that much water, just enough to blend it in. Like that. So that looks fun and interesting now. I feel like it's missing something though. Maybe we could put some gold on it. I've got some fine liner gold. So I have the Kuretake mica powder gold in here. I just got to be kind of careful because some of the first few squirts you do of it gets kind of heavy for some reason. And I think it's because it in the container it kind of tries to separate a little bit. There we go. So maybe we can do some dots in the middle. It must have still been a little wet because that gold like spread there over some big boys. So got that. I want to see some more separation in those flowers, so that yellow flower kind of faded to the back almost. Did I get it in the tube? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Sometimes it's hard to see that little tiny fine liner tube. So let's try and darken around the edge of this petal a little bit. Just give it a little bit of contrast. Thank you. I appreciate that. Might also give it kind of a painterly vibe. I know we've got orange going on in here, but I just think that that yellow needs something to separate it. Because it's a little bit much, you know what I mean? Just something like that. And then we could always bring that yellow back over here. Just kind of do the edges of this red flower. I think that makes for a pretty nice card. I'd be pretty happy with that. So yeah, got that card. Let's see, I gotta make 2 more. So let's bring these guys out. And see what all I've got. We could do another napkin if we wanted to. If so, I guess I shouldn't have thrown that brush away, huh? Oh, but it's just sitting right here. It probably wouldn't hurt to use it. Oh, nope, it's covered in strings from the kimono. Of course it is. I've got this napkin. This napkin's really pretty. I think I got this one from Dee Dee Willingham, if I'm not mistaken, in one of her giveaways, because she did the giveaway where she gave away the Bugs Bunny paper. So I have the Bugs Bunny paper, but then I also got this pretty napkin from her. So we could do something with that. So first, anytime you deal with a napkin, you got to pull it apart. Here, I'm going to move this guy up here because I'm worried that gold's going to smear. So I don't want to accidentally smear it. This is a really big napkin. Oh, all right. Well, thank you, Gwen. I appreciate you visiting. All right, so because this napkin is so big, I'm wondering if it's 2 layers or 3, because sometimes there's more than 1 layer on the napkin, so got to be kind of careful. So there's 1 layer. And let me just kind of look at it. Okay, so this one seems to be 1 layer, which is good. So let's try and look at a corner here. Kind of like the look of that corner. That corner looks pretty cool. So let's try that. Where'd my green scissors go? There. Just gonna. Last time I decoupaged around it, this time I'm gonna cut around it. And if I get a little bit over the edges, it's fine because you can just trim it. Sorry if I'm cutting this off camera. I just want to make sure that I don't cut myself. There we go. So that's a very pretty napkin. So we can use that. I actually just recently did a napkin trade with Beth Schuler, so I'm excited because she got my napkins and she was using them yesterday. So I'm excited to see what napkin she got me. I'm like, yes, girl, can't ever have too many napkins. Wonder what would happen if I just used Elmer's glue. So I don't really want to get out all that extra stuff again. Let's try and see what happens if we do that, and we'll just rub it with our fingers. A little bit of glue never hurt. Oops. Except for when you have old glue on your fingers already. That's what that is old glue on there. Just remember, wherever you lay it down, that's where it's going to sit. It's there for life. There we go. So it seems like it's staying on pretty good. And it's a little bit less sticky, which is good too. So let's go ahead and cut around those edges to make sure that it's really, really on there. Woo! Getting glue on me. Here, let's kind of tap down those edges a little bit over there. So they're trying to come up on me. So if I just kind of push it under, that might work because it's so wet. Otherwise, we can just trim off the edges too, and that's not going to hurt anything. Except for when the scissors don't want to cut it because it's so fine. It's trying to move on me. There we go. Now we're cutting. This side over here didn't want to cut. Oh, we got a little corner that wants to come up there. So hopefully if we just pat it down, it'll stay down. It's pretty gluey right there, so I think it will. Then I've got this one edge right here. There we go. That looks pretty. And then let's see what we can stick on it. Maybe we can do like a little animal or something. That might be cute. Or a person. Let me look through my animals here. Maybe we have a mouse or something. That would be cute. Ooh, we have a squirrel. We could do a squirrel. Yes, the squirrel needs to be here. It's so cute. We're going with the squirrel. The squirrel needs us to find his home, guys. And who are we to deny this cute, adorable squirrel? There we go. Just push it down. That is darling. It needs something, though. Maybe a quote or something. Do I have any small quotes? Let's see. I have this whole bag of like little fables and stuff. Maybe we can do this one. It says, "Get up, everybody," because it's a squirrel and he's up in the tree. That could be cute. Let's go with that. Get up, everybody. So that looks pretty cute like that. I know it's supposed to be more of a floral, but the floral's behind the squirrel, so I think that counts. I like that one. That one's sweet. Okay. And then we just need one more. So let's use the Neocolors again, but just make kind of a background, and then we'll kind of look at our stickers and see what we can do. So let's do just some random colors. We're just gonna let the colors do what they want. And where'd that little paintbrush go? I had a watercolor brush. Here it is. I was like, where is it? So let's just do some soft circles here and see what the colors give us to work with. Going for kind of like a soft pastel-y look, it seems. Maybe we can Zentangle over it. There we go, that looks nice. Wipe off my brush. The card is still somewhat wet, so let's hit it with a heat gun. I do have noise canceling, so it should be okay, but let me know if it gets annoying. There we go, not too bad. Not too bad at all. And then let's see, what kind of brush are you? That could be interesting. This is a flat nib. So maybe that could give us something more interesting. So let's start with a flower pot of some sort. And I'm going to give my flower pot like a little design. So there's our sweet little flower pot. And then we'll give it some leaves. When we were in Kansas City over the weekend, I was entangling a lot for no apparent reason. It just felt like the right thing to do. Sometimes a little voice in your head just says you gotta do this, and you do it. There we go, that's very pretty. And then maybe we'll do just like a spark of something over here. Some little random ones. So we've got that flower, and then let's do like one that's made out of loop-de-loos. Do a couple of those. Ooh, that loop-de-loo went a little crazy, Lou. Didn't turn out quite like that one, but that's okay. There we go. That's better. And then maybe these are zigzag plants. It's like little balls on them or something. Something a little weird and abstract, you know? It's in like a tiny little flower pot. Like that. And we'll put some more of those little sparky things in there to tie it all together. There we go. I think that looks really interesting because it's not something that you would expect from a floral. It just kind of is organic and interesting. Okay. Well, I think these are my 5 ATCs that I'm gifting Joanne Newman then. So I'll hold each of them up to the camera so you can see them a little bit better. So we've got this one that has the roses by Curiously Michelle on them. And then it's got the kimono silks and then the sticker in the middle of it. So that one's really cool. And then we've got this one, which kind of looks like a little flower patch. And we've got that like see-through leaf on it. That's really cool. We've got our neo-colored 2 little sunflower guys with some gold in the middle. We've got our florally squirrel that says, "Get up, everybody." I don't know why I really like this one. I think it's cute. And then we've also got our like Zentangly one. So if you watched tonight, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you could please like, subscribe, or share my channel, I'd really appreciate that too. I've had a lot of growth lately. I just recently hit 300 subscribers, which I never thought was going to happen. So thank you so much. It's so nice of you. Um, but yeah, thank you so much. And I hope everybody has a really good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.